All right, we're ready.
Woohoo, everybody. Welcome to the Spiritual Neighborhood.
Morning.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lunch Bunch at the Spiritual Neighborhood. The Spiritual Neighborhood is a grassroots community project of the City Council of Families for Children, dedicated to the quality of life for the body, mind, and spirit, for the integration of a healthy, happy human. And today we have Sally Jackson Hammond, right?
Jackson, yes.
Sally, she started the Sally J Designs, and when you were doing mural work, is that right?
Was after I years of teaching school.
Yeah. Did you start that at like 47 years old?
I did.
Wow, that's amazing. It's not that 47 is old, but for most people, they find their niche in their early 20s or 30s. So, and I didn't find mine until I was almost 50. So you also did interior designs for the last 20 years in the Metroplex area.
I still
you're very instrumental in organizing Doodle Dandy Rescue in March of 2018, and took your first foster dog into rescue on July the 18th. You're now a 501c3 nonprofit organization with over 400 volunteers and 15 team leaders. And y'all do your adoptions in San Antonio, Austin, and Houston. So tell us some more about that. It says here that you guys have adopted out over 160 dogs in the last 2 years. Tell us how which one is your most passion? And I would assume it's the rescue, because I love animals myself. So this is something close to my heart. But tell us a little bit about your interior design, and then let's go into the dog rescue.
Okay. Well, I was an educational diagnostician back in the early 90s and, mid 90s, I guess. And I had divorced and I had gone back to school. I'd had a needlework store. I had been very entrepreneurial, like since my first lemonade stand as a kid. And went to teaching when I got divorced and needed like real money. So I did that for about 7-8 years, and then I had gotten a very small little inheritance from an uncle, and I just quit. I had had enough of being in a bureaucratic situation, and my kids were in college, and I was ready for something interesting and fun. And so I started painting murals and doing faux finish work at the height of when that was a big deal in Dallas. And clients would start asking me, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I went, I'm just going to go back to school. It's what I should have done in the first place back in the late 60s, 70s. And when we could be a nurse or a teacher or a secretary back in the day, And so went back to school and did 2 years of design school at El Centro, and worked the whole time I was going to school, and it just kind of took off from there. I had a studio in downtown Garland for about 4 years and moved back home, and it was a good thing to go out, and it was a good thing to come back. And we still work all over the Metroplex and do a lot of kitchen and bath design and additions and that kind of stuff. And we decorate. We do that too. I like to do the tearing walls down and see what it could become. That's my favorite part. So I got bored. It was kind of same old, and I was tired of watching TV and not being productive and getting fat, So I decided I needed something else to do. And in the meantime, I had been working with another rescue in town who I was doing their foster placement, and there were about 10 of us that at one point felt like we had a better handle on things, and we really thought we could do a better job. So we broke off and spent from March to July getting our act together. And you really have to build this almost as a business, or you can't be successfully saving dogs. So we really worked very hard to get our information and our foundation in place. And then we took our first dog in July, and it's been crazy, crazy, crazy since then. So we've got at least over 160 dogs. I haven't counted. We're close to 200, I think, for the last 2 years. And
Wow.
Yeah.
But you focus on one type of dog, is that correct?
We rescue doodles, poodles, curlies, and fluffies. So
And there's one behind me to let people
behind,
kind of know what they look like. So,
absolutely, they are a cross between, the true doodle is a cross between a Labrador Retriever and a standard poodle, or a golden doodle is a golden retriever with a standard poodle. So they get the hypoallergenic aspects from the standard poodle and the curly hair, and they get the personalities and um, the rest of that stuff from the Labrador and the Retriever. But we have mixes with Cavapoos and Bichon Poos, and we've
yeah.
got one in the rescue now who's an Afghan and poodle. So it can be anything. And then if we don't know what they are, we just call them an Adoradoodle. You know,
Oh, that's sweet.
know what they
Adore doodle.
Yeah, they're just cute. So we just take them, and we've taken in some terriers, and we're not. We do have a following of people who are looking for the doodle, so we really have to kind of keep that as our profile, or we won't be able to get the dogs adopted. So we learned that early on, that you take too many terriers and you don't get them adopted. So we leave that for other groups to do.
So how did you pick this specific type of dog as your focal point? There's got to be a reason.
Well, we were working with another doodle rescue, so we knew the dog. And I have an old English sheepdog, maybe poodle mix. I don't know. We can't decide if she's a full OES or she's a sheepadoodle. And I had her through the rescue, and so those are the dogs we know, and they're designer dogs. And we really wanted a breed that we could rescue. If you open yourself up to all breeds, it becomes very difficult to choose your dogs, because you could take them all, and you can't take them all. You have to be able to balance your rescue with how many dogs you really need, how many you've got for adoption, and be able to manage your resources so that everybody is not overwhelmed, and you aren't begging for people to help you out all the time, or for money. So we truly have tried to create a flow of in and outs, which is what I like. They come in, they go out. They come in and they go out. And the money seems to be following us, and we seem to be able to rescue as many dogs as we can have people to help out with.
Well, I respect what you do, because years ago I thought about having a rescue myself. We have the property for it, but I fall in love with animals, and I would have a hard time letting them go.
Well, when people say that, people do say that to me all the time. And my response to you is, the dog needs you to love him that way. They need to have that so that they can be able to bond and have a forever family. And it's like having a whole bunch of children. You don't love any one of them better than the other, and you always have room for one more. So when you can watch them graduate and move on to another family, it just leaves another spot for you to pull another one in. So, it is a selfish thing, and you can't withhold that emotion, or you don't do the best for the dog.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I really like about your organizations, and there's others like yours, is that you went through the process to become a true 501c3. And I don't think people appreciate how difficult that process is.
Hard.
That makes you a legitimate nonprofit, just like the Red Cross, just like the Salvation Army, any of those. That means that you're accountable to the government with your tax reports. You have to be accountable for how you spend your money, how you receive your money. You can't just be hairy scary with it. And also, the side note to that, though, is how well you're able to keep illegitimate people and organizations out of the picture, because I wasn't aware of this even until I started looking into trying to adopt a dog recently through an organization, how many people take advantage. And so if you're not dealing with a legitimate 501c3, you need to really think about that.
Really do. And the legitimacy was really important to me. It's kind of been a hallmark of everything I've ever done. I went back to school to get a degree in design, because I didn't feel it was my place to do design without having the education underneath me. So I'm kind of a credential sort of person. And it was important for us to make sure that we had all of our ducks in a row. And I'd seen other organizations really flounder, and we were able to take advantage of other people's mistakes and learn from those. So we were able to create a really solid organization. And I'm really proud to say that of the 8 or 10 people that we started this with, they're all still working with us. So it's,
Oh,
yeah,
That's awesome.
huge. That is
Wow.
That's a lot for the
That's
organization.
amazing.
Yes.
we want to be drama free as much as we can. And
Of
there's
course.
drama in dog rescue, I have learned. And we also want, it was important to me. I was 67 years old when I started this thing. So 66, 67, something.
You don't even look that old. No
Well,
way.
But seriously.
No way.
I'm 60, I'll be 69 in October.
Oh my
But-
No
God.
way. No way.
for us, Elizabeth. There's hope for us.
Oh, thank you, God. Oh my God. No, boy, I would have lost that bet in a minute. Jeez.
You know, I'm telling you, it was at this age when you start something, you want to enjoy it and you want to have fun.
Yeah.
And so having fun is in our mission statement. We really want to have a good time with one another and build relationships, and to have, we carry about 20 to 30 dogs in the rescue at one time. So that means we've got 25 or 30 fosters. We've got 25, we've got four foster mentors that follow the dog from start to finish and provide the support to that foster. A lot of our fosters are brand new. They love the breed, and so they find that a better way to get a dog than to go to a breeder. So we have a lot of new fosters, and we feel very strongly that the fosters are the hub of the wheels. So we protect them and we support them. We use an online application that's a communication app called Slack, and we have, every dog has a channel. Every dog has the entire leadership team on their channel. They have one person that is responsible for all the medical decisions. We have another person who's in charge of making sure that the supplies are all in place. We have a team of 12 leadership people who are responsible for all of our dogs. And it's been an amazing thing to watch. And we've had to morph and build and change and get processes in place. And we have a lot of corporate people who love those processes, you know. So we've really tried to build a business model for this rescue so that we can sustain it, you know.
One of the things I want to point out to people is that I don't think they fully appreciate what you're doing and the process of it and the cost of it, because a lot of people work with the idea.
Cost.
Yeah, the cost. That because you don't have a big facility with a lot of cages, well, what overhead do you have? You got people fostering, no big deal. But there's food. There's still, and while there are a lot of veterinarians out there that will donate full or partial services, there's still a huge cost.
No, ma'am, they don't.
They used to, but they don't. And, you know, so you've got the shots, you've got the heartworm testing, you've got the parvos, the parasites. And I've been looking at some of these sites, and there are rescues that take in these animals that have mange, they've been beaten, they've been run over. I mean, there's so much involved in caring for these animals other than just giving them a bed to sleep in and some dry dog food during the day.
I have one that has to have an ectopic ureter surgery. That's about $5,000. We just had a knee replacement on one dog, and that was $1,300, and she's got to have the other knee replaced.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, luxating patellas. I'm learning all kinds of words. And we try not to take a dirty dog to a foster, and most of these dogs that are coming out of shelters are in horrible shape. And they get their basic shots there, but we have to neuter and spay, and we have to get well visits, and they have ear infections that go on for months. And so you can't necessarily adopt a dog within 2 weeks of getting a dog in, because we've got health concerns to deal with.
Oh my God.
We're also one of the few organizations in dog rescue that trains our dogs. We don't let a dog that doesn't have the basic skills down. They also, if there's any aggression, if there's any resource guarding, if there's any weird things, little things that come with them, we train them, and we work with the fosters, and the fosters work with we have 2 trainers that work with us, one that we pay, and another one who has a lifetime of experience in rescue and has trained therapy dogs for years. So she's kind of the guru. There's not anything she doesn't know about a dog. So we put them in touch with the fosters, and they get training classes, and the trainers go to their house and work with them. And we just don't adopt them out until we have them both behaviorally and medically cleared. And sometimes it takes 3 months, sometimes it takes 3 weeks, but that's our criteria. We don't send out a dog that isn't ready to go. And
So that's thousands of dollars possibly invested in each animal.
yeah,
So
and our fees range from $450 to $600. So we have to break even on a few. We get a few in that come in with their shots up to date, or they really just aren't. They're not a good fit for their family, and so they need to be rehomed. And those kind of make up for the ones that we have to spend $5,000 on. And then we try to get as many donations as we can to help out with those. And we have a loyal group of people that when we ask, they give. And it's been very rewarding.
so do y'all do fundraisers or have fundraising events and things?
We do some. We hope to increase on that over the next coming years. Our goal has been to kind of add in one aspect at a time. This is the year of the volunteer, and we're really working to build up our volunteer base. And we did the Irish Festival and raised a little bit of money there, about broke even mostly, but we got a lot of good PR, and we got a lot of good Instagram and Facebook followers from that. And so we're building upon that. We started out with 0 in March of 2018, and we're up to almost 14,000 followers now.
Wow,
So,
that's great.
yeah, it is good, and we're real proud of the growth that we've had, but we're trying our best to do it reasonably. And we've got the 3 satellite places now, which is a big step for us. We've got a team in Houston, in Austin, and in San Antonio where we've got vets in place, we have groomers in place, we have fosters in place, and we're on the cusp of being able to pull a dog out of San Antonio shelter, keep it in San Antonio, have it completely vetted and cared for there, and adopt it out of San Antonio. So that's our next kind of milestone. That way it's really easier on the dog that we don't have to move them. We've been pulling them out of those shelters and bringing them up to Dallas, which is transportation costs and
Certainly.
yeah. So we hope that this is going to be the next phase for us, and we've got lots of excited people. We just don't have the dogs down there yet. We're looking,
So if anybody wants to donate or volunteer, they can go to doodledandyrescue.org to donate to the organization, and it's a taxable write-off because now it's a 501c3, so that's going to help you all if you donate to Doodle Dandy Rescue or volunteer. So
absolutely, we have volunteer and foster applications on our website, and we're trying to have fun with this. We're trying to make it a community-wide organization that really takes care of the pups.
So where do most of the dogs come from? Are they just shelter dogs, or do people relinquish?
Surrenders. These dogs are everybody loves the look of them, but they are not the easiest dogs to raise. They're very smart, and they're very energetic, and they stay puppies a long time. So we brought one in this morning who was brought into the family a week ago, and it's just too much. It's a 70-pound 1-year-old.
Oh,
So,
that's huge.
Yeah.
I didn't know they get that big. Wow.
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 We had a peer doodle mix that was 90 pounds. So
Oh my God.
So they're needing a lot of space to run around and get that energy out. And so you need a really nice backyard for these animals, because we've been in the house.
Pound poodle too that can stay in an apartment complex. So it kind of depends, and you'd be surprised how many of these 40 and 50-pound dogs are in an apartment. So and we've had pretty good success with that. It's really about the people and the dog and the chemistry.
Right.
And, so we don't say no to anybody. I've adopted and fostered dogs with young children. I won't put every dog with a young child, but we will put some of these dogs are awesome with kids. We've also taken, this is the best story. We had a dog that was surrendered to us who was just could not ever be alone. And both of his parents were teachers and they had to leave him alone. He tore up 2 or 3 crates. He ate everywhere. He turned on the gas on their stove.
Oh my God.
So he was a danger. He just could not relax enough to be left alone. So we brought him in. His name is Percy. It was over the Christmas holidays, and he went to several Christmas parties and New Year's Eve parties because they couldn't leave him. We got him with the trainer, and we got him up to about 45 minutes that he could be crated. And we were at a leadership meeting talking about it, going, what are we going to do? This dog can't ever be alone. And then it went ding, ding, ding. Who else can't ever be alone? Autistic children, therapy people who need a therapy dog. So we connected with a trainer for therapy dogs, and she had a client with a 10-year-old autistic boy who was needing a dog or something to keep him in the loop. You know, he would run and he would be afraid. He would have panic attacks. So they've trained Quincy now to be Max's buddy. He can go find Max and he can go sniff him out. And when he starts to have a panic attack, he goes and lays on top of him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just the coolest thing ever. So it was one of those rescues that was good all the way around. It rescued Percy and it rescued Max and his family.
Oh, wow.
So we're real proud of that one. And there's stories upon stories that I could tell you about. There's just many. But it's a good thing, and it's a heartwarming process to be involved of. And when you can see a picture of a dog that came out of the rescue looking so sad and dejected and messed up, and then you see them 3 weeks later or 2 months later, and you see this happy, playful, that's why you keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's why you keep doing it. It's just everything.
Well, it sounds like a lot of these dogs would be great emotional support dogs.
Big. Well, you may have to work on them too, but yeah. But with training, not every dog can be an emotional support dog, but a lot of them can. And these dogs are genuinely, their personality is very people oriented. They really don't like being left alone. And so when I adopt these dogs out, that's kind of one of the things we're looking for. They're not going to be good in a crate for 9 hours while you're at work. They simply can't. That's not their personality, and that's not how they're made up. They are the person that wants to sit beside you while you work at home, or they want to go to the office with you, or they're good for a couple of hours or 4 or 5 hours, but then when you come home, please take me for a run, or let's go play fetch in the backyard. They just need a lot of attention, and that's why we get a lot of the dogs, because people underestimate what commitment is.
Well, do clients ever adopt 2 at the same time to help with that situation? So they
done that if they come in as a bonded pair, we will adopt them that way, but generally we're separating them out. And you know, we would still want to make sure that the chemistry was right with the 2 dogs. You know, sometimes it can work, sometimes that's good, and sometimes I have one in the shelter right now, in the rescue right now, who couldn't care less about other dogs around him. He wants his person and he wants her there all the time. You know, so you just have to, it's like people, we have to work on their personalities and figure out what they need. We're always the best place for the dog to find success.
I have 2 dogs like that. You know, I've always believed in having 2 or 3 dogs at a time so they could have a pack. The 2 I have now, they could care less. They want to be with a person. They growl at each other when they walk by each other, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
My days, the Old English Sheepdog is not the nicest host when I bring other dogs in. We have a foster that's been with us for about a year now, and he probably will be. He's had some issues with jumping at the fence, and you know, he needs us. And they have worked out a copacetic relationship, but she could not care less if he's here or not. She's fine, and she's not going to be necessarily nice to you if another dog comes into her space. She doesn't share well. So,
like people, just like people.
Exactly. We have our introverts who are loving all this closed down.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just need a hug. I need to go hug somebody.
No, I'll send you one through the mail.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah, my dogs, their biggest pastime is either sitting in one of our laps or stealing each other's biscuit. That's what they like to do.
Oh, I
And
have to
it's
feed
hilarious.
Stephanie. We don't even do well with that. So, no.
Well, to watch them go back and forth and steal biscuits, and I usually give them both 2 a day, and sometimes one of them will wind up with 4 in their bed at night, so you know who's been winning the day.
Yeah.
Long in
They're
my
keeping score.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't even eat them. They just like to.
Yeah, they're just holding on to, look what I did. I might
They're
accomplish that
hoarders.
for today.
They're neurotic. They're hoarders.
Well, Sally, let me ask you a question. What can we do to help you? What can we do to help your organization?
I think just the support, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Donate if you've got a couple of dollars every month. We would love to have some supporters that are, every month they throw in $20. That would be great on a revolving card. Tell people where we are and help us to, get the word out. We really, it's all about the numbers. The more numbers we have follow us on social media, the more people that know about us. And that's a good thing. So,
Well, Sally, if you will go to the Spiritual Neighborhood Facebook page and like it, and you don't join it, you just like it. So then every time you have an event, or if you have a specific dog that you're trying to promote because of whatever, you can always go there and post because you've now liked the page and share that and get that out to our members with that as well. And if you tag all of us on the message, it also goes out to our people, and we will promote you that way. So,
Absolutely.
we'll do that. I love copacetic relationships.
me too.
Well, if you have any events and you're looking for people to work for you for volunteer work, let us know. I'll volunteer.
Yeah, as soon as I can come out of the house,
Events.
I'll volunteer because I love working with dogs.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Have
So,
those before long. I'm ready.
yeah. Well, I just liked your page and I shared it. And so we'll get people out there to like it, and we'll post all that on Spiritual Neighborhood. That's, I really want to, thank you for what you do, Sally, because this is something that's dear and near to my heart. We've had 6 dogs at one time. We're down to 3 now, but I have a squirrel in my backyard that I have a connection to. So animals are really important to me. So thank you for what you do.
Well,
Absolutely.
I never would have known this would have been my path. I didn't plan this. But if you're open and receptive to what the universe has for you, then you just have to say yes sometimes.
Yes.
that's how we wound up here today, Sally.
That's really no joke. That's really no joke. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing the call and answering that. Thank you so much for hearing that.
Well,
Post your phone number and Facebook page one more time, and then we're going to let you go.
the phone number, I don't want to give out the phone number.
Okay, well, give out what you want to.
doodledandyrescue@gmail.com, doodledandyrescue.org, and you can find all the volunteer foster applications right there. And we'll be back with you within days.
Yes, if y'all are an animal lover like we are, go do $5. If 50 of us put $5 on that, it's going to help. So, every bit helps. So, help out the Doodle Dandy Rescue.
This week.
$5 makes a difference. That can buy food.
Yes.
Not a lot, but it can buy food.
Well, we're doing okay. We also have an Amazon Smile account. If you
do
into Amazon, smile.amazon.com, you can designate Doodle Dandy as your 501c3, and every time you order something from them, they send us a little bit. And
yes,
awesome.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I did that for St. Jude's Children's Hospital because that's where my mom got her valve was from them. So that's
awesome.
Yeah,
well,
now
it's fabulous. Doodle Dandy.
Doodle Dandy.
Yeah, now I'm embarrassed.
Awesome.
The Council of Families has an Amazon Smile account too, and I forget to tell people about it. So.
I know, you do forget. We also have a volunteer.
Oh my goodness!
Facebook, if you're interested in being a part of our volunteer group, that's kind of our kind of clearinghouse, but because once we get volunteer applications, those people are added onto our Slack network, and that's where all the real action takes place. So if you're interested in getting involved, we can get you there.
Well, Sally, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all this with us, and it's really important to me because I'm looking to adopt a dog, so this was really on my top priority list of things that I'm interested in. So we're going to.
We can help.
I will. So
Yes.
you have a great weekend. Have a great Memorial Day, and we're going to say goodbye.
Bye, Sally.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Namaste.